And we must remain married if we want to keep our faculties as deacons. So last night I came home a little late, a little tired, a little hungry, or hangry as we say nowadays. And my wife asked me, would you like dinner? I looked around and I didn't see anything on the table. I didn't smell anything. So being a smart aleck, I said, what are the choices? She said, yes or no. Guess what I chose? I still have faculties. So, last week we kind of heard a feel-good parable from Jesus. The one where everyone got paid the same. Regardless of how much work they put in the day, everyone went away with a full day's wage. This week, not that much feel good. We have two sons who in one way or another have disappointed the father. There was no other choice. You either say yes and not do it, or say no, disappoint your father, but go out and do it. Jesus presented that question to the chief priests and the elders, to the power, to the authorities of the people. But he presents that same question to you and I today. What's your opinion? Is the son that said no, but went out to work, the one who does the will of the Father? Or is it the one that pays him lip service, but doesn't do the work? I think we all agree that the least of the worst, the one who did the work after saying no, would be the one who did the will of the Father. Jesus, by putting us on the stand, asking for our opinion on this matter, is giving us three very important lessons today. First, what's important is not what you did yesterday. It's not how you behaved previous to hearing His word today. What's important is that you change your mind, that I change my mind, and do the will of the Father. Many of us want to play God. Many of us don't want to forget what we've done. Oh, that's way too much. That's way too bad for Jesus, for God to forgive me. Therefore, I won't forgive myself and I'll just keep doing it. There's no shame in changing your mind. If you're at that point, hear this. There is no shame in changing your mind and turning into the Lord's ways. It's actually very admirable. Second lesson that Jesus teaches us today, that what is important is not so much what you say, but what you do. We all know much better people, much wholesome people who are not Christians than Christians to call themselves Christians and are not good people. What's important is not what you say, it's not how you categorize yourself, it's what you do. Something to internally reflect on ourselves. Am I worthy to call myself a Christian? Or am I being a hypocrite? Call myself a Christian. I know the ways of the Lord, yet I choose not to go into the vineyard and follow His ways. And the third, it's in the minds of the second. It's not what ministry you're in, it's not what parish you belong to, it's not what group, Knights of Columbus. All of you guys, Knights of Columbus, you're saying yes, but if you're not doing the work of the vineyard, you're not doing the will of the Father. I'm not picking on you guys because you guys are tough and competitive. I could have picked on CCW, but remember, I want to remain married. Does my life reflect the way of the Lord? tough question that today's gospel presents to us. Am I saying yes or am I saying no? Am I doing the work or am I not doing the work? So tonight I want to keep it very brief. I'm almost done because we will be hearing from Dennis Johnson. He will be continuing the initiative that we began a couple of weeks ago. He will give us his perspective on where we stand, on what our initiative is for. But before I go, I'd like to give you some homework. Are you having a shaky marriage? Are you having trouble at home? Are you having trouble at work? Today's second reading from St. Paul to the Philippians has the answers. It's calling us to unity. It's calling each community, whether it's marriage, family, parish, work, to think as one, to love as one, to feel as one, and to discern, to choose as one. By doing it the way of Jesus, the way he did. Surrender. He surrendered his own divinity and became one like us. He humbled himself to the point of going on the cross. And he served to the last moment. To the last moment, he was fulfilling his ministry of announcing the good news. One of the last words he said was to the thief, "You will be with me in paradise today." Please read that letter. And if you want to put your name on top, "Dear Mary Jane, John Doe," and read it. Read it with your wife. Read it with your kids. That is the way of the Lord. Say yes and do it. Let's become a third son. A third option. The son that dreams like God, that prays to God, that fights for justice, that obeys the Lord, all in love.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Deacon Wilmar. I think that was an excellent homily. I'm only going to take issue with one thing that you said. For tonight, it matters very much what parish you belong to, and that you belong to this parish. But I'd like to begin tonight by just saying thank you, because each of you here tonight makes our incredible parish what it is. You make us a beacon of light and hope to East Orlando. And so I want to say thank you, and we're glad that you're here. My grandmother was one of the greatest theologians of all time, and she wasn't even Catholic. She used to tell us growing up, "The Lord blesses this house, but he doesn't do the dishes." This is wise advice in light of today's gospel. We are blessed, but we do need to do our part. As Christians, it falls to us to administrate that which God has provided in ways that optimize applying the gospel in our own lives, in our parish, and in our community. Consequently, stewardship is based on 4 T principles: using our T time, applying our T talents, sharing our T treasure, and doing it T together, so that God's blessings can be realized and the dishes can be washed. The most important aspect of this is that we must do it together, with God, with ourselves, and with each other. Our parish attendance has pretty much come back to pre-pandemic levels. However, our number of registered families continues to lag at roughly 1,863 households as of noon yesterday, of which only 991 are contributing members. That's about 53%. There are two remedies for this. First, for those of us who have not joined the parish, we're glad you're here, but today is the day for you to step up and become a member. And our ushers will be ready after Mass on the table in the back. There are registration forms. If you just fill it out, put it in the collection basket, either today or next week, and we will get you taken care of. It becomes a sign when you're a member that you're a part of the amazing outreach and ministry that we do here at the parish of St. Joseph, Orlando. Second, all of us, each and every one of us, needs to make a personal choice, searching our hearts with the Lord. For those of us who are giving of our treasure, maybe you're able to do a little more. For those of us who are not making a regular gift to the parish, now is the time to do something. Even a small contribution can make an incredible difference. For example, if the 872 registered households who are not giving gave $5 today, that would add an immediate $4,360 to our weekly offertory, which is more than $225,000 in the course of a year. Parishes in the United States run like a business. There are strict protocols for governance and management which we must follow. Our primary means for providing for our needs are donations from members, our parishioners, who are committed to spreading the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ, through the use of their time, their talents, their treasure, and doing it together. Our parish has 4 giving priorities which enable us to sustain ourselves and to grow as a community of believers. Offertory provides for our operation and ministry needs. Funded depreciation enables us to put money aside for major facility maintenance and upgrades. Our Catholic appeal is our commitment to assisting our bishop and supporting his ministry throughout our diocese and beyond. And finally, the occasional special collection opportunities, which the Church approves and facilitates, gives us a means to flex some extra support as one is able and has the resources to do so. These 4 giving pillars provide us the pathway to be a vibrant and effective parish and a community of active Catholics, which is why we need everyone to do their part. As a beacon of light and hope for East Orlando, we have overcome some incredible challenges in recent years. We turned around a fiscal deficit and restored positive operations. We aligned our staffing within acceptable parameters for a parish of our size. We replaced our HVAC system, painted our buildings, refaced our landscaping to what has now become the diocesan gold standard for safety and beauty. We have increased our music ministry outreach and our formation outreach. We now have one of the largest and most comprehensive formation programs in the entire diocese. We are blessed, but God doesn't do the dishes. We are working closely with the diocese to address some pending facility urgencies as quickly as we can. Our roof, our building envelope, our exterior door and sanctuary floor, the parking lot, signage, and our water supply and sewer hookup are among the top of the list. We will address these as quickly and as immediately as we can, but the costs will likely exceed $1 million. However, our parish is on the path to address these challenges, and we will, because we're doing it together with our time, our talents, and our treasure. Our sacrifice for our parish reflects our spirituality. As Christians, we believe that we must live and share in community. No one can decide for any of us what is the right thing, the right amount, the right motivation, or the right purpose. This is a personal decision for each of you and for me that we will make with God. But my grandmother is right too. God has blessed this house, but he doesn't do the dishes. Regardless of your commitment up to now, today is another opportunity. We're glad you're here. We invite you to be a member. Please see an usher after Mass to sign up. We invite you to get involved. See our clergy or staff if you need help discerning where you might best offer your talents. We invite you to give. The best way to help us financially is through a regular donation through online giving. You can use the QR code on the cue cards to sign up. And even if you are already doing so, please check in using the code just to review that everything is the way you want it, the way God wants it. Today, again, I am here to say thank you. Everything that we are as a parish is because of you and those who have gone before us. Friends, God has blessed this house, but God doesn't do the dishes. He leaves that part up to us. Thank you for doing what you can. God bless you.